Greetings. We continue our study of the book of Revelation today. Again, we're going to look at Revelation 4:1 for a text, and we'll be considering the rapture of the church, or the church's part 2, in which we're examining the third and fourth compelling reasons for the rapture occurring here at this point in the chronology of the book of Revelation. After this I looked, and beheld, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, or come up here, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. Now in part 1, we considered the rapture of the church, about the dispensation of the fullness of times, the acceptance or rejection of Daniel's 70th week. We looked at compelling reason number 1, the outline of the book of Revelation in chapter 1, verse 19. Compelling reason number 2, the Old Testament types of the second coming. First, the days of Noah is a type of the second coming, and then the days of Lot is a type of the second coming. Now we'll look at reason number 3. Compelling reason number 3 is the observation to the Thessalonians. In the book of 1 Thessalonians, Paul addresses two questions which had come about because of false teaching about the resurrection. No doubt from the Sadducees, who did not believe in a resurrection at all. The first question concerned the state of those who die in the Lord before his return, and this question was addressed in 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 18. The second question concerned the day of the Lord for judgment, and this was addressed in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. Now, both of these passages conclude with the admonition, wherefore comfort. The truth of God's word on these subjects should be a comfort to faithful believers. It was false teachings on these subjects which had caused the Thessalonians to be in a state of being without comfort. Now, some people had misunderstood or were purposely trying to mislead concerning these truths. Therefore, Paul revisits and further clarifies these topics in the book of 2 Thessalonians. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verses 1 through 6, Paul teaches that enduring persecution and tribulation in faith and patience is the normal thing for God's people who love and serve him. However, their current persecution and tribulation did not mean that they had missed the resurrection and the rapture. Therefore, they were not experiencing, quote, the great tribulation. And beginning in 2 Thessalonians 1:7, Paul speaks directly to those who were troubled by this errant teaching. He begins by inviting them to share his assurance, rest with us. And in 2 Thessalonians 1:7 through 10, he declares that the Lord is not yet come and accomplished the things which are listed in these verses. In 2 Thessalonians 1:11, he concludes, wherefore, presently be busy with the service which God expects from us as we become conformed to the image of his Son, as stated in Romans chapter 8, verse 29. Then in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1, Paul begs them to remember two things which should keep them from being troubled. This is in chapter 2, verse 2, about whether they were in the day of Christ. He said the first thing that they should remember was the Lord is coming, that's still yet future. The second thing which they should remember was our gathering together unto him. Now, we understand the second coming of Christ will be in two distinct stages according to God's word. The first stage will be when Jesus comes, quote, as a thief in the night, to call those who belong to him in the first resurrection, which we commonly refer to this event as the rapture. The second stage will be when Jesus comes, quote, in power and great glory, end quote. Every eye seeing him as he comes to execute judgment upon his enemies, which we commonly refer to this event as the revelation. So we have the rapture as a thief in the night, the revelation in power and great glory. Now, there's little debate concerning these facts, that is, that these two facts will occur. However, there's much debate concerning the time frame of these events, especially the first, the rapture. Now look at 2 Thessalonians 2:3, and I'll have to be very direct for time's sake. 2 Thessalonians 2:3 could have read, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come the departure first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Now the King James says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Now he says in verse 1, the Lord has not come again, and we've not been gathered together in him. Be not deceived. The day of Christ cannot be at hand unless there be the departure and the man of sin be revealed. The revealing of the man of sin will occur around the middle of the 70th week of Daniel's prophecy, which is the beginning of the second half, the time of Jacob's trouble, or the Great Tribulation. Again, in 2 Thessalonians 3:5, Paul affirms that we're still patiently waiting for Christ.